The moment you show the world your power, money, or success, you create enemies you never needed. Listen carefully, because this is where most men ruin themselves without realizing it. They believe power must be announced. They believe strength must be displayed. They believe that if the world does not see their success, then their success does not exist. I have watched this belief destroy princes, generals, merchants, and men who once stood close to greatness. Power does not shout. Power whispers, and often it does not speak at all. When a man shows off his wealth, his influence, or his victories, he is not proving strength. He is asking for validation, and the moment you need validation, you have already surrendered control. True power does not need witnesses. It only needs results. The lion does not explain why it rules the jungle, and the sharpest blade does not glitter in the sun before it strikes. In my time, the most dangerous men were never the loud ones. They entered rooms quietly. They spoke less than others. They allowed weaker men to boast while they observed. This silence was not emptiness. It was calculation. Silence gives you time. Silence allows others to expose themselves. Silence lets your enemies underestimate you, and underestimation is the greatest advantage a ruler can possess. The man who shows off is always in a hurry. He rushes to display his success before it is secure. He celebrates before the war is finished. He announces victory while his enemies are still breathing. In doing so, he invites resistance, envy, and challenge. The world does not reward visibility. It punishes it. The more you reveal, the easier you are to study. The easier you are to study, the simpler you are to defeat. Understand this. Loud power attracts attention, but attention attracts danger. Every display is an invitation. Every boast is a signal flare. Somewhere, someone is watching, measuring, waiting. They may smile at your success, but behind that smile is calculation. What can be taken? What can be attacked? What can be used against you? Silent power, however, creates uncertainty, and uncertainty paralyzes opponents. When people do not know your limits, they hesitate. When they cannot read your intentions, they grow cautious. Caution slows action, and slow action gives you dominance. This is why restraint has always been the companion of authority. A man who speaks little appears deeper than he is. A man who reveals little seems more powerful than he may be. Perception governs reality, and silence shapes perception better than any display ever could. Those who parade their strength exhaust it. Those who conceal it preserve it, allowing it to grow in shadows where no one interferes, where no one prepares defenses, where no one suspects what is coming. Power survives not by being seen, but by remaining untouchable. Understand this truth before it costs you everything. Envy is not an emotion, it is a strategy. When you show off, you do more than display success, you manufacture enemies. Most men believe envy is harmless, that others will simply admire and move on. I have lived among men long enough to know this is a dangerous illusion. Envy does not announce itself. It smiles, it congratulates, it applauds, and then it waits. The moment you parade your achievements, you awaken comparisons in every observer. Some will feel small in your presence. Others will feel challenged. A few will feel humiliated. And humiliation is the seed from which revenge grows. You may believe you are inspiring people, but in truth, you are provoking them. Every display of superiority creates a silent question in another man's mind. How do I bring him down? Men rarely attack those who are equal to them. They attack those who make them feel inferior. When you show off, you elevate yourself publicly, and elevation creates distance. That distance breeds resentment. Resentment seeks balance, and balance is often restored through destruction rather than effort. In courts and kingdoms, I watched men fall not because they were weak, but because they were envied. Their riches were too visible, their victories too celebrated, their confidence too loud. Others began to whisper. They looked for flaws. They waited for a single mistake to justify their hatred. Envy sharpens attention. It turns ordinary men into patient hunters. What makes envy so dangerous is that it costs nothing to feel, but everything to defend against. You may never know who envies you or how deeply. The man laughing beside you today may be planning quietly tomorrow. The one praising your success may be collecting information, noting your habits, studying your weaknesses. Showing off makes this work easy for them. You reveal not only what you have, but how much it matters to you. The more you display, the more people feel entitled to judge you. And judgment leads to scrutiny. Scrutiny leads to exposure. Exposure leads to attack. This chain begins the moment you decide to make your success public. Power that is unseen cannot be resented. Wealth that is hidden cannot be targeted. Influence that is quiet cannot be undermined easily. Wise men understand that peace is maintained not by equality, but by ambiguity. When people do not know how far ahead you are, they do not feel the urge to catch up by force. When your advantages are unclear, envy struggles to form direction. It becomes scattered, ineffective, harmless. By showing off, you take a dangerous step. You take an invisible, personal emotion and give it shape, direction, and purpose. You turn envy into a weapon, then place it carefully into the hands of those who already wish to see you stumble. Men often confuse reputation with visibility. They believe the more they are seen, the more they are respected. This misunderstanding has ended more legacies than failure ever has. Reputation is not what you announce about yourself. It is what survives when you are absent. And nothing erodes that survival faster than unnecessary display. When a man shows off, he places his image ahead of his substance. He teaches others to judge him by appearance rather than outcome. This is a dangerous bargain because appearances demand constant maintenance. Once you become known for display, the world expects the performance to continue. The moment it slows, doubts appear. The moment it stops, respect collapses. In my observation, men who rely on display are always one step away from disgrace. They live under a magnifying glass of their own creation. Every action is watched, every mistake amplified, every flaw remembered. The higher they raise their image, the harder it falls when reality interrupts. Results, however, speak quietly and persist long after the noise fades. True reputation grows without effort. It spreads from mouth to mouth, carried by outcomes rather than claims. It is built when others speak for you while you remain silent. But when you show off, you interrupt this process. You insert yourself into the story, and in doing so, you make the story fragile. People trust conclusions they reach themselves more than declarations made by others. Displaying success creates suspicion. Men begin to ask why you need to prove it. They search for exaggeration, for illusion, for cracks beneath the surface. Even genuine achievements lose weight when they are presented too eagerly. A victory announced loudly feels smaller than one discovered quietly. The first invites debate. The second commands acceptance. Reputation thrives on consistency, not spectacle. Display creates peaks, but power requires endurance. Those who build their image through noise must constantly exceed their last performance. Those who build through results need only remain steady. Over time, steadiness outlives spectacle. The world forgets those who shouted, but remembers those who delivered. There is another danger in display that few anticipate. When you show off, you define yourself too clearly. You trap yourself inside a narrow image. Others begin to expect certain behaviors, certain outcomes, certain roles. This limits your freedom. Reputation formed by results remains flexible. Reputation formed by display becomes a cage. I have seen men lose influence not because they failed, but because they could no longer maintain the image they created. The mask slipped, and the fall was swift. A man known for results can recover from loss. A man known for display cannot survive exposure. If you desire a reputation that protects rather than exposes you, let your work move ahead of your words. Let your silence make room for speculation. Let others debate your strength while you continue to act unseen. In time, your name will carry weight without your presence, and that weight will not depend on constant validation. History is not ruled by those who speak the most, but by those who watch the longest. The braggart lives in the moment, intoxicated by attention, driven by the need to be acknowledged. The observer lives in time. He studies patterns, waits for errors, and survives where others burn out under the weight of their own noise. The man who shows off is always exposed. His thoughts spill through his words. His intentions reveal themselves in his excitement. He cannot hide ambition because ambition demands an audience. In contrast, the observer says little and learns everything. While others announce their plans, the observer collects information. While others celebrate prematurely, the observer measures the cost of victory. In every court I witnessed, the braggart was loved first and destroyed first. He was easy to read, easy to provoke, easy to trap. His confidence made him careless. His desire for recognition pushed him into unnecessary risks. He spoke before he secured his position. He acted before understanding the terrain. He mistook applause for loyalty. The observer never rushes. He allows others to underestimate him. Underestimation is not an insult to be corrected. It is an advantage to be protected. When men believe you are harmless, they reveal their true selves. They relax their defenses. They speak freely. They show you exactly where they are weak. The observer stores this knowledge patiently, knowing that timing matters more than force. Braggarts live loudly but briefly. Their rise is fast, their fall inevitable. They attract attention that they cannot sustain. Every success increases expectations. Every boast raises the standard they must now meet. Eventually, reality catches up, and when it does, there is no room to retreat. Their identity is too public, their mistakes too visible, their decline too satisfying for those who waited in silence. The observer avoids this fate by remaining undefined. He does not rush to explain himself. He does not compete for attention. He lets others fight for recognition while he advances unnoticed. This invisibility is not weakness, it is armor. It absorbs attacks without damage and deflects hostility before it forms. Survival in power is not about dominance in a single moment, but endurance across many. The observer understands that time favors restraint. He sacrifices short-term praise for long-term control. While braggarts chase admiration, the observer builds position. While they perform, he prepares. While they exhaust themselves proving worth, he conserves strength. Those who talk too much age quickly in influence. Those who watch remain relevant. The observer does not need to win loudly. He only needs to outlast. In the end, it is not the most visible man who controls the outcome, but the one who was never noticed until it was too late. You have now seen the pattern that governs power across every age. Those who reveal themselves too quickly invite resistance. Those who display their strength awaken envy. Those who build reputation through noise shorten its life. And those who speak instead of observe rarely survive long enough to rule. Power is not lost in battle. It is lost in exposure. Every unnecessary word weakens position. Every public display reduces mystery. Every attempt to impress hands control to the crowd, and the crowd is never loyal. Silence, restraint, and patience are not passive traits. They are active defenses. They protect what you build, while others are too busy proving themselves to notice what is forming beneath them. If you wish to move freely, remain unreadable. If you wish to endure, let others underestimate you. Let them mistake your silence for weakness and your restraint for lack of ambition. While they seek attention, you secure position. While they chase validation, you accumulate leverage. Power does not belong to the loud, the proud, or the visible. It belongs to those who understand that what is hidden lasts longer than what is displayed.